You're all
And
very
Movin for the link.
Yeah, and thanks to Mohan as well.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah,
Excellent. And you all up
Yes.
to the India quad?
that's right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So welcome everyone to FLQL Week 1. This is Season 8. The reading order today is Keshav, Kuldeep, Madhur, and Malhar. Everyone, please remember to keep your hands on screen and your videos on at all times. I'll just add a timer and we can get started. Good luck, everyone. And we kick things off with two questions for Keshav. Which musical, based on a book written by David Nichols and adapted to a 2006 film starring James McAvoy and Benedict Cumberbatch, opened to mixed reviews last year? Inspired by a TV program loved by our players, its title was made popular by Bamber Gascoigne to kickstart the TV program.
Starter for 10.
Very well done. That'll get you your
Just give
first
me
point.
one sec. I'm just trying to move the screen around so that I can see. All right. I think we should be good. Go ahead, please.
So the answer to that question was start over 10. I don't have any bonus questions for you, Keshav, but how about a second question? Recently, Royal Challengers Bengaluru ended an 18-year wait to lift the IPL title. It was one of many trophy droughts that ended this year around the world. Which London football team ended a 119-year wait for silverware when they beat Manchester City 1-0 in the latest FA Cup final in a David versus Goliath contest?
How are we reading this? West Ham?
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep?
Tottenham Spurs.
Not the Spurs. Madhur?
Crystal Palace.
Is the right answer. It is Crystal Palace. Kuldeep, your directs. Gap was founded in 1969 by Donald Fisher and Doris Fisher in San Francisco, California. In 1998, after the release of this film, Gap started amassing massive popularity in India after they saw the male protagonist, a flamboyant, flirty, and basketball loving college stud, wearing a sweatshirt from Gap. Which film?
कुछ कुछ होता है.
Will get you a point, though I don't think anyone should be taking fashion advice from that film. The Markhor Kuldeep, a wild goat of the Himalayas, migrates from Pir Panjal to Neelam. Despite new sanctuaries, its numbers are falling. It's now endangered. What specific disruption to its migration is causing this decline? The operative part of the answer is shared with one of the longest Indian films ever made from 2003.
Creation of dams.
I'm afraid not. Malhar,
Pass.
passing to Keshav.
Refugees?
Not refugees. Madhur?
Is this to do with the war? Operations, army?
Uh, don't think I can give it to you for that, I'm afraid. It's not just the army simpliciter we're looking for. This is
That's the mascot of
the fence,
Pakistan. Yeah. Array.
the fence along the line of control between India and Pakistan. It's LOC Kargil, which has a runtime of 4 hours and 15 minutes. My God.
Yeah.
Mother, your questions. What royal title from the Islamic world is derived from an Arabic noun meaning strength or authority and came to be used as the title of certain rulers who claimed almost full practical sovereignty without claiming the overall caliphate from the 10th century onwards? This was to disambiguate from the more secular Malik, meaning king, or Emir for governors.
Shah.
Sorry, could you hear that again?
Shah. SHH.
No, I'm afraid not. Malhar?
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Pass.
This is the title that Jasmine's father in Aladdin has.
Was he?
No, that's the bad guy. This is the Sultan.
As simple as this.
Prompted on Padishah, which means emperor or Hunkar. Madhur, this advertisement by the National Resources Defense Council, NRDC, displays their message by getting the external chimney pipe on the roof to smoothly transition into what hidden in the image. The tagline reads, "Air pollution kills 60,000 people a year."
Pass.
Passing to Malhar.
Is it a cigarette?
It is not. Keshav.
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Pass.
This is really quite clever. It's a gun or the gun barrel.
Oh.
Malhar, your questions. Which nephew of Mahesh Bhatt, son of his brother Mukesh, names their film company, founded in 1986, known for small budget films with hit music like Ashiki, Raz, Jism, and Gangster, often unacknowledged remakes of foreign films? And I'm going to need a full name.
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
No, I'll pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Vikram Bhatt.
I'm afraid not. Madhur?
Vishesh Bhatt.
Very well done indeed. It is Vishesh Bhatt. What, Malhar, is the world's second largest office building? It was built incredibly quickly from the groundbreaking ceremony on 9/11 1941 to its dedication in early 1943 and boasts 5 concentric rings connected by 10 corridors, totaling 17.5 miles. Due to its size, it uses 6 different zip codes.
Is it the Large Hadron Collider?
I'm afraid it isn't. Keshav?
Pentagon?
Sorry, could I hear that again?
The Pentagon?
Is the correct answer.
What?
It is the Pentagon, the headquarters of the US Department of Defense. During the 9/11 2001 attacks, part of the southwest side of the building was damaged and 189 people, including the terrorists, were killed. A cheerful note to end round one on. So, round two, Keshav has 2 points, so does Madhur. Kuldeep has one. Malhar so far has none, but many questions to go. Keshav, these are your direct questions. During India's Operation Sindoor, the shifting of which birds near the Jaisalmer border kept their conservation on track. Once a contender for national bird status, it was dropped partly due to spelling risks.
The Great Indian Bustard.
Yes, indeed. Keshav, Atomic Blonde 2017 is set in the days leading up to which momentous historical event that drew a curtain on the 80s, capturing the tension and intrigue surrounding the Cold War. The film depicts the city's volatility, with gang wars and political maneuvering happening on the brink of the said event.
The Fall of the Berlin Wall.
Will get you a point. It is the fall of the Berlin Wall. Kuldeep, your questions. Kwachi is one of the three mascots of the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver and is an anthropomorphic representation of which hairy, large creature said to be spotted in that part of the world? Ten seconds.
Yeti. Yeti.
I'm going to pass you. Malhar
Bigfoot.
will get you the point. Sasquatch or Bigfoot are both acceptable answers, but sadly not Yeti. Just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to get the door, but I'm back for Kuldeep's second question. Defining the OED as to turn up with the spade, especially to dig ground in preparation for a crop, what term has been associated with the use of large language models like ChatGPT due to its purported frequency in AI generated documents? Five seconds, going to need an answer. Do you
Pass.
passing to Malhar?
Is it delve?
It is indeed. ChatGPT, when generating text, frequently uses delve and delve into, even when other more common phrasings might be more natural for a human writer. So, questions for Madhur. This effect is used in cognitive sciences when discussing depth and perception. In architecture, it is used in topics related to impossibility in geometry. Both effects are named for which 20th century artist's depictions of staircases?
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
Escher.
We'll get you the point. MC Escher it is. At the 2024 T20 World Cup, at the at the 2024 T20 World Cup final against India, he was out early and had to seek the team he was captaining and had to see the team he was captaining lose a chase from the sidelines. In the 2025 World Test Championship final, he took matters in his own hands to score a fourth innings century at Lord's to win his team the game. Who is this cricketer, Madhur, a rare member of the palindromic 11 club?
Aiden Barkram.
Is the correct answer. Wow, I had a lot of trouble with that question. It is Aiden Markham of South Africa, ending their 27-year wait for an ICC title. Their last was the 1998 ICC knockout in Dhaka. I think that's just my body rejecting cricket as a concept. Malhar, your questions. The OED claims this word has been dated to as early as 1632. Its current use in corporate jargon has been the subject of parody. What is this word made up of Greek roots for together and work, which pretty much defines the term?
Is it collaborate?
It is not. Kuldeep?
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
Synergy.
Is the correct answer. When 2 plus 2 equals 5, mysteriously, we get to synergy. Malhar, the film Twilight of the Warriors Walled In depicts what during the 1980s, a period before its demolition in 1993? This action crime film, based on a manhwa series, provides a fictionalized look at life within the densely populated and lawless area.
This is Kowloon World City.
It is indeed. Very well done. It is the Kowloon Old City, or Haknam, the Cantonese name for it. Its dark Nam is Haknam. Round 3. Keshav is in the lead. He's on 6 points. Madhur and Malhar on 3 points each. Kuldeep on 1. Keshav, these are your questions. Sanjay Kapoor, a prominent Indian businessman and the former husband of Bollywood star Karishma Kapoor, died on 14th June 2025 in Windsor, England. He suffered a heart attack while he was participating in a tournament for which sport associated with the rich and the famous?
Polo.
Is the correct answer. I believe he swallowed a bee that triggered a heart attack, which is the strangest way I've heard of to die in recent times. Keshav, Powder the Hare, Coal the Bear, and which other animal named Copper were the trio of mascots at the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics? A trickster in Native American tales, this clever creature is more often found in cartoons. It also names an American watering hole where a 2000 film unfolds. Ten seconds.
The Arctic Fox.
I can see why you might think so, but no. Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Madhur,
Pass.
passing to Malhar,
Coyote.
is the correct answer. As in Wile E. Coyote and the Coyote Ugly Saloon, the international chain of bars whose bartenders dance on the bar and serves as the setting for the truly terrible 2000s movie Coyote Ugly. Kuldeep, your questions. Which psychological pricing strategy, often associated with a Czech brand name in India, sets prices just below round numbers like 99 rupees 99 paise to make them seem cheaper and more appealing to customers? The operative word suggests a gentle, almost magical influence on the buyer's perception. You can alternatively give us the Czech company's name.
Bata.
Absolutely. Who else? Also known as charm pricing. Bata's founder, Thomas Bata, is credited with popularizing the 99-cent pricing. Kuldeep, HTTP error codes are sometimes made in jest. HTTP 418 was introduced on April Fool's Day 1998 for a device to inform the user that it is what type of kitchenware. This type of kitchenware is used as a standard short and stout test model in 3D computer graphics, inspired by a real-world one by Melita. Ten seconds.
Pass.
Passing to Madhur.
Is it a casserole?
It is not a casserole. Malhar.
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
Teapot.
Is the correct answer.
Was this nursery rhyme out of vogue by the time you guys
Nursery
came in?
rhyme, yes. I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
Short and
This
stout.
is my handle.
Yes.
This is my spout.
My mom claims that was the only one I ever recited. So
Yes, I believe there was a dance associated with it that I did as a child as well. It was one of my mother's favorites.
yeah.
The Utah teapot is a standard model based on a real-world Melita teapot to test 3D modeling techniques since the 1970s. And having Googled it after seeing this question, I can confirm that it is an incredibly generic-looking teapot. Madhur, your questions. Disturbed by drills near the line of control, it strays into Kargil and Dras, where 45.5% of its diet now comes from livestock, triggering conflict with the local population. Which big cat, celebrated in Peter Matheson's 1978 book, is thus facing the brunt of Indo-Pak conflict along the LOC?
The white tiger.
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep?
Mountain leopard.
That's incorrect. Malhar
Snow leopard.
is the correct answer. It's the snow leopard. I would also have accepted Uncia, the ounce, or Irbis, as it is, of course, more commonly known. What Madhur was first introduced in the 1969 book on death and dying and was inspired by the author's work with terminally ill patients. Motivated by the lack of instruction in medical schools on the subject of death and dying, the author examined death and those faced with it at the University of Chicago's medical school.
Is it CPR?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
CPR technique.
No, not CPR. Kuldeep?
Pass.
Passing to Malhar.
Is it assisted suicide?
It is not. Keshav?
Pass.
These are the 5 stages of grief, or the Kubler-Ross model.
Oh, nice.
I would also have accepted the 5 stages of loss, the Kubler-Ross grief cycle, the 7 stages of grief, or the Kubler-Ross change curve.
Nice.
Malhar, your questions. This advertisement by the American Disability Foundation has beautifully painted a 3D image of what on the staircase. It also went with the tagline, "For some, it's blank."
A wheelchair?
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep?
Pass.
Passing to Madhur.
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
Also pass.
This is Mount Everest. For some, it's Mount
Oh,
Everest. Help build more handicap facilities itself.
very nice copy, I must say.
Yes, this whole quad actually has a lot of very good ads in it. Malhar, perhaps the most famous polo death in history has been of which ruler, best known for a towering commission when he fell down from a horse while playing Chaugan in Lahore in 1210 and died instantly when the pommel of the saddle pierced his ribs.
Is it Kutubuddin Eba?
It is indeed. Very well done. Or just Ebak or Kutub or Kutubuddin. Though I've never heard him spoken of as casually as just Ebak. Round 4. Keshav still in the lead. He's on 8 points. Malhar catching up. He's now on 6. Madhur not far behind on 3. And Kuldeep just behind him on 2. Keshav, these are your questions. Which 1988 film featuring a crime-fighting vigilante by night helped introduce Black Dog whiskey to Indian audiences after a misogynistic villain dissed Shivas Regal and ordered it instead, claiming a Kala Kutta was running inside him and after seeing a woman? Very charming.
Is this Shahenshah?
I'm afraid it is.
Jab like this is good.
Shahenshah will get you a point.
I think it was Amrish Puri on screen, right?
Correct, correct.
I mean, if
So
you're looking for a
Shivas Regal and Black
1980s
Dog.
misogynistic villain, who else would you look for?
Yeah, this was Amrish Puri.
Keshav, who was the first figure in history to grant himself the title of Sultan, ruling from 998 to 1030 AD, controlling an empire that ran from present day Afghanistan and the surrounding regions, and known for his plundering raids well into the Indian subcontinent?
Ghori?
Sorry, could you hear that again?
Ghori?
No, passing to Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Madhur,
Alexander.
not him. Malhar,
Ghazni?
I can prompt you.
Gaz Mahmud Ghazni?
That's the one. We needed
That
both
was a
correct.
50-50 toss-up for me.
Yes, I'm afraid so. This is Mahmud of Ghazni or Mahmud Ghaznavi, and we needed both words. But well done to Malhar.
Yeah.
Kuldeep, your questions. Which nephew of Mahesh Bhatt, son of another sister Hina, directed the films Murder 2, Ashiki 2, Wo Lamhe, and Ek Villain, and directed his sister Smiley in Kalyog?
Vikram Bhatt.
I'm afraid still no. Madhur,
Pass.
passing to Keshav,
Pass.
passing to Malhar.
Pass.
This is Mohit Suri.
I think
Oh,
you marked Kuldeep as pass instead of wrong.
was it his direct question?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
then
I
it doesn't
always
matter.
mark pass if it's the person's
Acha,
own direct
sorry.
question.
Sorry.
Wrong if you picked it up on the pass.
Okay.
Kuldeep, over in Italy, which 115-year-old football club ended a 51-year wait for a trophy by beating giants AC Milan in the latest Coppa Italia final? Giants of the Italian game early on, especially pre-World War II, they had been meandering along for nearly half a century without getting close to any meaningful silverware till their recent triumph.
Genoa.
I'm afraid not. Madhur,
Bologna.
could you hear that again, please?
Bologna.
Yes,
Bologna.
yes, absolutely. It is Bologna. Madhur, your questions. Another famous celebrity death caused by a polo accident in England was that of Maharaja Savai Mansingh II in 1970, a former royal who served as the ambassador of India to Spain. Though married three times, like Sanjay Kapoor, he is best known for being married to which legendary beauty and politician hailing from the Cooch Behar royal family?
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Maharani Gayatri Devi.
That's right. No relation. It is Maharani Gayatri Devi. She married Mansingh II of Jaipur in 1940, becoming the Maharani of Jaipur. Madhur Social is a cafe and restaurant in Hoskhas, Delhi that often doubles up as an office workplace or meeting arena. Which 2015 film helped popularize this place? The protagonists meet here after a long time, having last seen each other in a Western European island.
I would say Tamasha.
You would be correct too.
Thankfully.
Corsica is where the characters Tara and Ved meet. This is some very deep knowledge you're displaying here, Madhur. Malhar, your questions. BOGOF is an example of a bundle pricing strategy that is very beneficial for retailers since it relies on the consumer's need to get more for the same price. Expand BOGOF.
Buy one, get one free.
Very correct. I'm a big fan. It is buy one, get one free. Bless you, Keshav. Malhar, HTTP error codes are sometimes inspired by works in other fields. Take, for example, unavailable for legal reasons is used when websites are censored. What is the three-digit code for this in homage to a particular fiery work on censorship and outlawing books?
451.
Get to the point. A tribute to the Ray Bradbury book, Fahrenheit 451. So round 5, at the halfway point, Keshav and Malhar are now tied for first place each. Madhur is on 5 and Kuldeep is on 3. Keshav, these are your questions. In modern art theory, this effect describes how mass reproduction of an artwork affects our perception of both art and branding. After what brand is this art theory named, made famous by an American artist in the 20th century?
Campbell soup.
Very well done. It is Campbell soup, as in the Andy Warhol work. Keshav, what is the heaviest building in the world, while also being one of the largest office buildings in Europe? If it helps, it is also the third largest administrative building in the world and stood in for the Vatican in the 2018 horror film The Nun. Ten seconds.
The Palace of St. James.
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Madhur.
That the Vatican Church.
It is not the Vatican Church. Malhar,
Pass.
this is the one in Romania.
Mm.
It's called the Palace of Parliament, which is in Bucharest, or Palatul Parlamentului, and alternative names such as the House of the Republic, Casa Republici, or the People's House, Casa Poporului, are also acceptable. I didn't think it was possible to fat shame a building, but this question has achieved it. Kuldeep, your direct. The program was originally titled Obviously in 2009. The creators envisaged it as a reverse family fortunes or family feud, rewarding obscure knowledge while allowing people to give obvious answers. While allowing people to also give obvious answers, thereby creating a perfect balance between highbrow and populist. Which TV program is this?
I'm passing.
Passing to Keshav.
Hollywood Squares.
I'm afraid not. Madhur?
No, it's not.
Is it like Daskadam or something? I don't know the English name. Sorry.
I'm afraid not that. Malhar?
Is it Jeopardy?
It is not Jeopardy. This was,
QA.
this was a show called Pointless.
Oh. I just realized Hollywood Squares was a lot older than this.
Kuldeep, Season 1, Episode 3, now in color 2021, along with others in the series, explores Blank Maximov's grief over the death of a synthezoid, showcasing stages of denial, anger, and bargaining. Which TV series is this, set after the events of the film Avengers Endgame 2019?
Wanda's World.
Sorry, could you hear that again?
Wanda's World.
I'm afraid not. Keshav?
WandaVision.
Is the correct answer. You were close, Kuldeep, but not quite. The show is called
Wrong last name.
WandaVision. Vision is referred to as a synthezoid, and Wanda Maximoff is, of course, the Scarlet Witch. And this was the first television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And not a bad TV show, actually. though I absolutely cannot watch a single Marvel thing anymore. Madhur, your questions.
Yeah.
Which nephew of Mahesh Bhatt, son of his sister Sheila Sabharwal, directed the musical hits Raja Hindustani and Dhadkan, as well as Mela, which continues to name a quizzing subgenre despite being a flop of epic proportions?
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Keshav,
Pass.
passing to Malhar.
Pass.
You'll be delighted
Yeah,
to
I
know
think
it is,
someone else said pass on my behalf, but that's okay. I didn't know it.
you'll be delighted to know it is still not Vikram Bhatt. It is Dharmesh Darshan.
I watched all three in theaters, but I didn't remember this at all.
Yes, what a prolific family, though. Madhur, the diamond burst in which Dream City is the world's largest diamond trading hub with a floor space of 7,100,000 square feet. This diamond burst has been the world's largest office building since 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Ten seconds?
Brussels.
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep?
Gift City.
Not that either. Keshav?
Surat?
Is the correct answer.
Arey. Nice one.
Surat is a reference to the diamond research and mercantile city, also known as Dream City in Surat, Gujarat, in India. I think the one you were looking for in Belgium is Antwerp, Madhur.
Yeah. But diamonds, if it had to be India, it had to be.
Yes, exactly. It couldn't be anywhere other than Surat. Malhar, your questions. This effect is defined as an illusion that the eyes of a portrait appear to follow you, regardless of your viewing angle. It happens due to the front facing gaze and flat image perspective, which the brain interprets the gaze as directed at you. This effect is named for which painting?
Is it the Mona Lisa?
It is indeed the Mona Lisa effect. In 1957, Malhar, Alawi monarchs in which country changed their title from Sultan to King upon independence, a title they had been using from the 17th century onwards, including the 5 decades interregnum of European colonial rule. The current king is Muhammad VI.
Is it Bahrain?
It is not. Kuldeep?
Qatar.
Not Qatar. Keshav?
I think it's Jordan.
It is not. Madhur?
Pass.
You're all in the wrong region, gentlemen. You have to think North Africa.
Egypt?
Not Egypt. Popular for both
No.
food and as a destination for Western travelers.
Morocco?
That's the one.
Ah.
I don't know they have a monarchy.
They do have a monarchy. His name is Muhammad VI. In
In
fact,
Jordan, guys are also called king and queen. That's very different.
yes, they do. Muhammad VI is actually the first Moroccan monarch to have had a public wife.
Sorry?
It's a wife who he acknowledged publicly, and you saw her face in public.
Okay.
Otherwise, all the
All right.
wives were burqa clad and not
Yeah.
public.
I understood that is something else altogether. Sorry.
Yes. I believe there's a lot. I think in the UAE, the sheikhs have multiple wives, but only a few of
Right.
them are their publicly seen spouses.
Right.
Otherwise, most of them live their lives very privately.
Mhm.
More parda than anything else, though not quite. Anyway, round 6. Keshav is back in the lead. He's on 12 points. Malhar is on 10. Madhur on 5. Kuldeep on 3. Keshav, these are your questions. Which psychological pricing strategy involves offering three options, two similarly priced at the top end, where one is intentionally less attractive to nudge buyers towards the pricier, better one? The operative term, Dutch in origin, originally referred to a type of structure used in duck hunting where ducks were lured into a cage like area. Ten seconds.
Pen pricing?
What was that?
Pen?
No.
Pen.
Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Madhur,
Pass.
passing to Malhar.
Pincer.
I'm afraid not. This is called decoy pricing. The Dutch
Oh,
is the direct source of the word meaning the cage. Defined by the OED as a short shaft or pin, Keshav, what term is currently used to describe a change of direction or to try a different track? It is not to be confused with a trademarked function for graph and table generation.
Pivot.
Or as Ross Geller would say, pivot is the correct answer. Kuldeep, your questions. To advertise their service Quit Plan, placed a billboard on top of an inverted vertical large cylindrical object, which has been designed with white and cork colors, a dark, medium, bright shade of orange, to resemble a life-size portion of what item?
Pizza.
Sorry, what was that?
Pizza.
No. Madhur,
pass.
passing to Malhar.
Is it a cigarette this time?
This is a cigarette. Well done.
Ah, yes.
I was hoping you would get to it. It is a cigarette. Very well done.
So that's not life size though.
Uh, does it say life size in the question?
Yeah, it
Oh,
does.
to
Like
resemble a
life-sized
life-size
portion.
portion. Interesting.
Nah, I wouldn't have guessed anything else, but I was just complaining about the fact that it was saying life size. It looks a lot bigger than that.
Well, cigarettes can be larger than life, let us say. I have no idea. But a cigarette it was. Let's move on. Kuldeep, Valley of Kings is a 1954 Hollywood movie shot on location. While not particularly well regarded by critics, it is now a curiosity among history buffs. It depicts what structures built during the reign of Ramses II, or tell us the construction of what tell us the construction of what forced their relocation in 1968. This led to a global awareness and conservation effort, now a ready reckoner for quizzers.
Pyramids.
I'm afraid not. Madhur,
Pass. Pass.
passing to Keshav,
This is the Aswan Dam, right?
is the correct answer.
Relocation of Abu Simbel, I think.
Correct on both counts. It is the great temples of Abu Simbel and the Aswan High Dam. The relocation of the temples, prompted by the threat of submersion from the Aswan High Dam, played a crucial role in the development of the UNESCO World Heritage concept and the establishment of the World Heritage List. Madhur, your questions. Tina and Milo, the two mascots of the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina d'Ampezzo, are both anthropomorphic versions of which animal? Its fur was used for warmth in the past, but today is best remembered for its presence in a Da Vinci painting. You can give us either its summer or winter name.
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Malhar.
This is a mink.
Is not. Keshav,
Now mine.
ermine is the correct answer. Ermine is what you call its winter coat. Stoat for the summer.
Some.
If any of you are doing ZQL's cultish, I think last week there was a question about Lady with an Ermine
Mm, mm.
by Da Vinci. And so you would have been able to answer this question. Which psychological pricing strategy Madhur often used at product launches creams the top layer of high paying customers before lowering prices for the rest? Its name also refers to a device that steals card data, or what you do when separating milk and cream, or how you often read.
Skimming.
Absolutely correct. Price skimming, which is a reference to card skimming, skimming milk, or skim reading. Malhar, your questions. What is Cliff Clavin? Is an episode from season 8 of the sitcom Cheers. In the episode, Clavin, played by John Ratzenberger, appears in which TV program?
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Pass.
Passing to Madhur.
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
What is Jeopardy?
Is the correct answer. This was Jeopardy. I'd hoped you'd say it again, Malhar, but while you kept the faith with cigarette, you didn't with Jeopardy.
Fortunate.
Kubler-Ross's stages of grief are referenced and explored in the context of adolescent suicide and its aftermath in which American series that ran from 2017 to 2020, based on Jay Asher's novel of the same name. A box of cassette tapes is central to the plotline, Malhar.
Is this 13 Reasons Why?
It is indeed 13 Reasons Why, often stylized like that. And so at the beginning of round 7, Keshav has taken a decisive lead. He's on 16 points, Malhar on 12, Madhur on 6, Kuldeep on 3. Will there be any last minute upsets? This is the penultimate round. Keshav, these are your questions. Which nephew of Mahesh Bhatt, grandson of his aunt Purnima Verma, a yesteryear actress, got an early reputation for portraying on screen intimacy and since then has diversified into more serious roles, including playing the socialist leader Ram Manohar Lohia in the 2024 period drama Ae Watan Mere Watan?
Been waiting for this ever since the quad started. Uh, Imran Hashmi.
Is the correct answer. Congratulations. I see you are now holding a cricket ball, Keshav. Is that a threat to your reader?
No, I've been holding it since the beginning.
I've only just noticed it,
No.
and I despair. Keshav, due to its focus on death throughout which series, 2001 to 2005, that depicts the lives of the Fisher family, who run a funeral home in Los Angeles, are the stages of grief, influenced by Kubler-Ross's work, explored in depth?
6 feet under?
Very well done.
Okay, I was fishing for the preposition. I wasn't sure whether it was 6 feet below or 6 feet under.
It is 6 feet under. And you inch closer to 20 points. Kuldeep, these are your questions. Among the world's largest office buildings is the headquarters of which national television broadcaster? Its looped shape, two leaning towers joined at the top and bottom, earned it the nickname Big Pants, Dakucha. Designed by Rem Koolhaas and Ole Shiren, it was named the world's best skyscraper in 2013. You'd be forgiven for thinking it was built for mass surveillance. Ten seconds.
Pass.
Passing to Madhur.
Pass.
Passing to Malhar.
Pass.
Passing to Keshav.
I'll also pass.
This is in Beijing, and it's a very cleverly worded question, actually. Mass surveillance. This is the
It had to be. It had to be one
CCTV
of those.
headquarters. China Central Television Headquarters, conveniently acronym
Nice,
CCTV in
nice.
Beijing.
Very nice.
CCTV.
Among the present day sovereign states, Kuldeep, only two retain the title Sultan for their monarchs. One is the oldest independent state in the Arab world, and the other has the world's largest residential palace. Name either.
Brunei.
Is one of them, and we'll get you the point. Anyone for the second?
Oman.
Yes, Oman is the oldest. None of you guessed Malaysia, but if it's out of interest, the formal title of the monarch there is Yang di Pertuan Agong. Madhur, your questions. What term used in fields such as optics to computing per the OED can be defined in different contexts as either the maximum rate of data transfer or a range of frequencies for signal transmission? It is currently used to describe the capacity someone has to handle a situation or task.
Bandwidth.
Absolutely correct. It is bandwidth. The 2022 Indian film Ram Setu shows the destruction of Salsal and Shamama, and an archaeological team's subsequent attempts to salvage the remains, where they discover a colossal reclining Buddha. How does the world know Salsal and Shamama better, Madhur, or where were these artifacts to be found till 2001?
Is it the Adams Bridge between
It,
India and Sri Lanka, which they built as?
no, it is not. Kuldeep
Bamiyan.
is the correct answer. Very well done.
What is a history question for you is a current affairs one for me.
This is a Buddhas of Bamiyan question. Malhar, your questions. The Indus Water Treaty's weakening spells trouble, not just for crops, but for an IUCN endangered creature that doesn't migrate. Its survival depends on steady river levels. Locally known as Bhulan, for the way it curves through the water like a crescent moon, what is this animal, the national mammal of Pakistan and the state aquatic animal of Punjab, India?
The Indus River dolphin.
The one? And we'll get you a point. I would also begrudgingly have accepted the Ganges river dolphin. More recent studies support them being distinct species, although in the past they have been clubbed together as the same species, but not anymore. And not by Malhar, more importantly. After years of struggling with the suffocating expectations of her youth and wondering whether her biggest opportunities had passed her by, which 29-year-old American finally claimed her maiden Grand Slam title in tennis by winning the Australian Open singles this year, relying on her famous fast serves and powerful forehands? It was her 46th Grand Slam appearance.
Pass.
Passing to Kuldeep.
Pass.
Passing to Madhur.
Coco Gauff.
Not Coco Gauff. Keshav.
Badosa?
Sorry, could you hear that again?
Badosa? Paula
No,
Badosa.
not her either. This is an American. This is Madison
No.
Keys.
Hey,
Arey, yaar.
Coco Gauff, I think,
Yes.
still in the prime.
Yeah,
of her
she
youth.
won the Wimbledon.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's one. Wimbledon.
French Open, sorry. The last one.
Hmm.
So we come to the very last round of the game, where Keshav has taken a decisive 5-point lead. Can anyone overcome it? He's now on 18 points. Malhar is comfortably in second place on 13. Can anyone catch up to him? Madhur is on 7 and Kuldeep is on 5. Let's find out if there are going to be any last-minute upsets. Keshav, these are your last two direct questions. In this highly competitive advertisement, Audi presented two options: marriage with two intersecting rings and love with its iconic four intersecting rings, which is also its logo. To one up them, rival Mercedes Benz posted its logo, with which appropriate word beneath it, showing how much people love taking their cars out for a ride.
Sex.
Is the correct answer, and the only acceptable answer. If love is four intertwining rings and marriage is two, it certainly seems like Audi is pro polycule. Keshav, HTTP error codes have entered our everyday lexicon since their introduction. What three-digit code is used to indicate something which is not found? For example, in the joke, my lecture was in room blank today. I ended up skipping it as I couldn't find it.
404.
We'll get you another point and take you to 20 points. It is 404. Kuldeep, these are your last two directs. Who was recently displaced from a coveted title by Sachin Tendulkar and James Anderson. This man, who represented two different nations, died in Delhi of a heart attack while playing polo on 5th January 1952.
Patodi?
We'll get you the point. Iftikhar Ali Khan Patodi, IAK Patodi or Patodi Senior. No Tiger Patodi as an answer, strangely. Reference to the England.
No, this is the father.
Oh, this is the
The
father.
Patodi Senior, yes.
But I always thought the trophy was named for both Pataudis.
Yes, that is what I thought.
Yeah, so Iftikhar Ali Khan Pataudi was the guy who died in a polo accident.
Ah, the timeline makes much more sense now. Thank you. A reference to the England and Wales Cricket Board's plan to rename the Patodi Trophy after Sachin Tendulkar and James Anderson. He represented England and India in Test cricket. Oh, right. Tiger Patodi was Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi.
Yeah.
Kuldeep, in psychology, this effect describes the visceral empathetic reaction we have to exaggerated depictions of fear or pain, for example, extreme emotional cues like facial contortions. It is not named for a movie franchise, but instead for a late 19th century artwork. Which artwork names this effect?
Green.
2 out of 2. This is the Scream, the 1893 painting by Edvard Munch, taking you to tie with Madhur at 7 points each. But it's time for Madhur's direct questions. Let's see how he does. The proverb, a chain is only as strong as its blank, means that the overall strength of a chain is determined by the strength of its most fragile component. The underlying meaning of this saying inspired the name of which TV show that also had an Indian version?
Weakest link.
Is the correct answer. Any guesses on the Indian show's name?
Kamzor Kadi. Nida Gupta was the
Correct.
Kamzor Kadi Kaun.
Iconic Neena Gupta in Kamzor Kadi Kaun.
I always loved Anne Robinson though.
They were both very good. Your last question, Madhur. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP error codes are sometimes created to suit the technological context of the day. Twitter used to send an unofficial three-digit code denoting enhance your calm when someone issues an excessive number of requests in a blazingly short period of time. What is this code alluding to the calm ostensibly felt by 5 high school students in San Rafael, California in 1971?
Is it 140?
It is not. Kuldeep,
Pass.
passing to Malhar.
Is it 420?
We have spotted the weed smoker among us. It is 420. Only joking, Malhar, only joking. It is the unofficial code created by Twitter to indicate rate limiting, a reference to cannabis culture. And so we come to the last two questions of the game. These are Malhar's directs. Keshav on 20, Malhar on 14, Madhur on 8, Kuldeep on 7. Roni, the mascot for the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, is an anthropomorphic representation of which animal? The name Roni comes from how the animal was referred to in Iroquoian, the language of the native people from the state of New York and Lake Placid.
This is a raccoon.
The eyes give it away. It is indeed a raccoon. I would also have accepted alternative names such as washbar in German, raton laveur in French, mapache in Spanish, and pesukarhu in Finnish. Last question. Malhar, Born Vita got a big boost in 2003 when the lead character of a hit film, Living with a Developmental Disability, was shown drinking it daily for Takat or Dimag. The habit became iconic, just like the film. Pity that Dhoop had no such effect on this character. Which film?
Tare Zameen Par.
I'm afraid not. Kuldeep?
Fish.
I'm afraid not. Madhur?
Koi Mil Gaya, 2003 has to be that.
Is the correct question. And so Keshav wins with 20, Malhar comes second with 15, Madhur ensures his third place with 9, and Kuldeep sadly comes last on 7 points. Well played,
Good game,
everyone.
guys. Thanks for reading, Gayatri.
And
You
very
did a
well
great
read.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
I really
That's
enjoyed it.
amazing.
Bye bye.
All right, see you folks. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.